Believe it or not, it's already been 5 years since Animal Crossing New Horizons launched on the original Nintendo Switch back in March of 2020. And while there has seemed to be a period of relative silence from Nintendo, there have been a ton of content updates since then. And with the announcement of the new Nintendo Switch 2 version and the free content update releasing this upcoming January, we have even more on the horizon. Sorry, I really couldn't think of a better word. Here's everything that's been added to Animal Crossing New Horizons since its launch. A quick note here, we won't be covering every seasonal event since they're recurring and only for a limited time, and there are constant new small additions like bugs, fish, and plants. If something was particularly big or noteworthy, or had an outsized importance during that time, we'll for sure make a mention of it. While the first month of release brought Bunny Days, Eggpocalypse, Cherry Blossom Trees, Nature Day events, and wedding season, the first non-seasonal permanent update to New Horizons came on April 23rd of 2020. Leaf's garden shop opened for business with his arrival on the island, and he brought his seeds and saplings with him. Jolly Red also made his first appearance with his treasure trawler, where you can exchange bells for both artwork and furniture. Aside from those two merchants, we also got a new museum expansion with the art gallery. Our next big update was in July, with the free Summer Update Wave 1. Swimming and diving were made available, which opened up brand new creatures that you could collect and donate to the museum. The Otter Pascal also made his appearance and could give you new DIY recipes, and you can now find Gulliver's pirate-themed counterpart, Gullivar, washed up on the shore. With Wave 2 of the Summer Update, Dream Islands made their first appearance, as well as the villager Luna to guide you through other players' islands. And finally, at the end of the month, they added the Island Backup and Restoration Service, which allowed you to back up your island and save data in the event that something were to happen to your Nintendo Switch. The late September update brought all the spooky season additions you would expect, like Halloween-themed events, crops, and clothing. As a bonus, the update also included pumpkins as an item that players could now plant and harvest. But the autumn update also brought a dreaming favorite list, so you could decide which islands to visit while napping, as well as an update to Nook Link, the Animal Crossing module inside the Nintendo Switch Online app that lets you perform in-game reactions. The winter update in mid-November, of course, brought Turkey Day and Toy Day, but as far as permanent upgrades were concerned, we got the ability to transfer islands and residents to another Nintendo Switch system, as well as new hairstyle options and a home storage expansion. The next big update was at the end of January, and it brought no permanent upgrades, just Valentine's Day events and the Festival event with the flamboyant peacock pave. We also received access to Mario-themed items later in February for Mario's 35th anniversary. While most of the Mario-themed items consisted of costumes that allowed players to dress up as iconic Mario characters, players could also gain access to a warp pipe item that allowed them to instantly warp over to any other point of their islands. March of 2021 also received an update. Although it marked the official 1-year anniversary since the game's release, this month's only update granted players the opportunity to scan the Sanrio collaboration amiibo cards and invite special Sanrio-inspired characters to their islands. Various Hello Kitty items were also added to the Nook Inc. terminal. Though a few smaller updates were available throughout the next few months that merely added a few additional in-game items for purchase, the next major update was the big 2.0 edition that Nintendo released in November of 2021. Brewster had now moved into the museum and opened up his Roost Cafe, and players can invite other villagers and amiibo-scanned guests over for a fresh brew of coffee. Cap'n now provided daily tours for players to gain the opportunity to collect rare and valuable items on random islands. Players can now access Harv's Island, where they could pay to have familiar characters appear and offer their services. These services include additional options to customize furniture, fortune-telling, and expanded shopping opportunities. Plus, players now had plenty more access to new hairstyles, reactions, and quality of life improvements. And players could also participate in a stretching activity with all of their residents on their islands. Additional customization features were added as well, such as giving players the option to collect and hang gyroids, the opportunity to add extra walls inside of homes, and the ability to hang ceiling fixtures. The cooking mechanic was also introduced at this point, and so Nintendo included more crops and foods in this update to allow players to truly utilize their harvested goods to their full cooking potential. Most notably, the 2.0 update also included paid DLC in the form of Happy Home Paradise, which lets players team up with Lottie, Nico, and Wardle in an effort to create dream homes for a large variety of Animal Crossing characters. Players are also able to create homes and other establishments in order to rank up and access other customization features, including new reactions, lighting features, and expanded options for home decorations on the main island. Players could even earn currency exclusive to this extra content and purchase items that were unavailable on the main island. Following this big version 2.0 update, Nintendo released a few gradual updates throughout 2022 that mainly fixed bugs or added a few small items to the shopping catalog. Though Animal Crossing New Horizons went on to become one of the all-time best-selling games on the Nintendo Switch system, activity within the game began to fizzle out in favor of other Nintendo games with continued online support. Keeping in line with several other Nintendo Switch titles that made the leap to upgraded Switch 2 editions, Animal Crossing New Horizons is slated to have a Switch 2 release on January 15th, 2026, alongside a free version 3.0 update. The Switch 2 edition is a $5 upgrade for users that already own the original version of the game, and the upcoming version can also be purchased as a standalone title both physically and digitally. The Switch 2 edition primarily features enhanced visuals and improved graphics, allowing the game to be played in 4K quality. The game will also become compatible with mouse controls via the Switch 2 Joy-Con controller, allowing players to more easily access and customize their islands and homes. Switch 2 users will also be able to connect their webcams during gameplay and host up to 12-player lobbies with fellow Switch 2 users. The version 3.0 update will be available as a free update for both versions of the game and includes many quality of life improvements, including the option to craft multiple items at once and to now store plants within storage, which has been upgraded to hold 9,000 items. The biggest feature of the version 3.0 update is the Resort Hotel, which is now added to the pier of the island. Players will be able to decorate rooms with specific themes, and after successfully completing each task, they'll be awarded hotel tickets, which can be redeemed at the souvenir shop. The lobby of the hotel will also contain mannequins that will allow for custom shirt designs to be put on display, and guests will be able to freely switch into these outfits with ease. Players will also be able to fully collaborate with other players on Slumber Islands, which are islands that can be fully terraformed and decorated with any items in a player's catalog. The seasons, weather, and time of day can all be modified, and up to 3 Slumber Islands can be saved. Speaking of collaborating, Nintendo has an abundance of collaborations coming to Animal Crossing. Starting with their own franchises, players can purchase different game consoles from throughout Nintendo's legacy to display in their homes, with some of them even able to access Nintendo Switch Online and play classic titles, similar to that of Animal Crossing back on the GameCube. Items and characters based on the Legend of Zelda series and Splatoon series will also be making appearances. Minoru and Tulin from Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom will be making their Animal Crossing debut, while returning Splatoon-themed villagers Cece and Biche will also appear, but this time they'll be based on Splatoon 3's Shiver and Fry. LEGO items are also set to appear in the game's catalog, including clothing, wallpaper, and furniture. Lastly, version 3.0 marks the return of Rossetti, who now runs a cleanup service. The player can ask him to clean up the entire beach, the entire island, or a designated area. Rossetti can then either dispose of removed items or place them into storage. Animal Crossing New Horizons has come a long way since its initial release on the Nintendo Switch back in 2020. With numerous updates, various quality of life improvements, paid DLC, and the upcoming free version 3.0 update, there's a lot to explore in this friendly island building title. And the Switch 2 version of the game should now allow players to have a truly definitive experience. Though the enhanced version and the version 3.0 update don't release until January of next year, there's still a fair amount of content to enjoy in the meantime. Until then, let us know which feature you're most eager to experience. Be sure to check out our wiki for more tips and tricks on how to optimize and present your own island. And for all things Animal Crossing, check out more of our coverage and content here at IGN.